Yo, what's good, collective? It's your boy, Mr. MetaMaid, and we're getting ready to talk about the power of astrology, part 3. If you guys have been following, this has been a real treat. Talking about the power of astrology within several minutes, all right? And it's been fun talking about it, and this is something that I feel like we all need to know, that the planets are shifting, the energy is shifting, there will be new downloads, there will be new interpretations as the universe is dealing with people that have not seen some of the transits that are coming into play here. So there will be some downloads that seem new to us, that seem new to, the concept of astrology. Now I want to talk about the power of astrology. Still talking about retrogrades, all right? I want to thank you all that are watching from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, but we are headquartered at P.A.T Academy on Patreon. If you haven't locked in there, all right, that's where the headquarters is at. That's where the library is at. Dozens and dozens of videos already on there for educational purposes, self-development purposes, building from the ground up, learning astrology from the ground up, all right? And that is a prelude, and even not so much of a prerequisite yet, but it's kind of a prerequisite to the courses that I'm coming out with, that if you haven't been a follower for at least 90 days, then that can weigh in to your pricing as far as getting courses of mentorship is concerned. So P.A.T Academy on Patreon. I want to thank you students that are tapped in and watching this rising, wealthy rising to you students and clients and friends alike. All right, let's talk about this now. Retrogrades, they signify cosmic shifts of power, causing retreat, reassess, review. So these typically are things that we say that retrograde means in astrology, but this is not the definition of what a retrogration period is. It's not a period where a planet slows down and we, supposed to review, reassess, redo stuff, go back over it. No, those are things that we are unctioned to do, you see, during the retrogration period, because the actual definition of a retrogration period in astrology is a bend in the orbit's energy. All right, the planet's orbital energy or a transit. All right, it's a bend, and what that typically means, a bend means a lowering of quality, or a lowering of position or altering of position. All right, when I'm bending, I'm altering my position, and what happens is planets, when they go retrograde, they're not telling us it's time. They're not telling us to go review stuff. That's just things we're unctioned to do. What they are doing is that they are preserving themselves and the cosmic order in the sky by retrograding during an enemy season, all right, or an opposing planet season. They're retrograding to keep the cosmic balance and cosmic order intact, all right? So you see, it's not just, retrograde means retreat, retrograde means reassess, review. No, those are byproducts of action that are incited due to the retrogration period, because the retrogration period means a bend in the energy, and that means a planet is bending or bowing to another planet's energy, you see. So like right now with Venus retrograde, all right, who is Venus enemies with? Venus is enemies with the sun, all right? The sun is coming into high dignity at this time, not just rulership, not just, domicile and dominion. It's coming into exaltation. So Venus, as a result, getting caught in sun's exaltation sign Aries. While sun is exalting, Venus is going retrograde to preserve itself, all right? That's how you look to see what is going on. These planets, all right, are basically doing what we're already doing on Earth. All right, we are exhibiting. We're exhibiting relationships. We're exhibiting interpersonal behavior in relationships, whether it be through preservation, whether it be through natural selection, whether it be through survival or whatnot. All right, we're still exhibiting behavior traits and interpersonal relationships, dealing with other people, and their statuses, determining some of our factors, just like the position of the sun with it in Aries season, and Venus just happened to be making this transit, like, oh shoot, it's Aries season and I'm here in Aries, gotta go in retrograde. All right, it's a cosmic shift of power, and basically when it does that, like I said, it's reserving the chain of powers. All right, it's reserving the chain of power. So every planet has their certain times, and you know, everybody gets a turn basically. All right. And at the same time, nobody gets to just stay up there. All right. Now you say, well, what about Sun? All right. Well, Sun is enemies with Saturn. All right. And if Saturn has a time when Saturn is exalted, you see, that can still be a rough time for Sun. All right. With Moon, enemy, Mars being an enemy of the Moon. All right. Like around this time, Aries season. All right. It's not really. It could be a rough time for Moon. All right. It could be a rough time for Moon themes. A lot of people. You know, Moon, what is Moon thing? Moon thing is domestication. A lot of people moving right now. What is Moon thing? Moon things is intimacy and partnership. A lot of people separate now. What is Moon things? Moon things is maternity, and childbirth, and paternity right now. A lot of people dealing with maternity struggles and paternity struggles as we speak, all right? Because Moon is not, right now, Moon and Venus, they in the hot seat right now. It's not really a time that they can surge with Venusian and lunar energy. They have to kind of go retrograde because the sun is out. You see what I'm saying? And Mars and these masculine planets, you know, quote unquote, and it's a cosmic balance. All right. So when you see that these planets going retrograde, just know, yes, we're still going to do this. All right. I didn't say don't do this. I'm not saying don't do this. I'm saying don't misinterpret this. Don't write this in, pencil this in as the definition of retrogrades in astrology. So when someone asks you, what does a retrograde mean? Oh, it's a time, you know, when we it means to reassess. It means to retro. It means to go back. Yes, retro does mean backward. All right, but the retrogration period, it implies to the planetary's orbital transit appearing to move backward, but it's stationary, and that in itself unctions us to operate out of these things, to reassess, review, and retreat. But it doesn't mean retrograde. Don't mean review. Retrograde means a being and an energy. All right. And when you see retrograde planets, particularly the personal ones, all right, they signify power shifts and struggles between the planet. All right. So if you got some of these personal planets in your birth chart, real quick, because this is only several minutes long, this is what you should recognize. All right. These are the powers that you should recognize with retrograde planets, because they are basically like indicators right there in your chart that, hey, this person should recognize this cosmic power with Mercury retrograde. All right. They should recognize the power of Jupiterians. All right. They should recognize the power of Jupiter. All right. With Mercury retrograde, Jupiter being an opposing planet, it's a reason why it may be opposing. It could be anything from you having a past life of trickery and deceit, lying and whatnot, or making sure your ass don't do it again, as witnessing the power of Jupiterian energy, you having faith, you not relying on luck, you not relying on survival skills and different things of that nature. All right, you recognizing, you know, ethics and what ethics can get you, how far ethics can get you, not giving up on ethics and moving into deceit, not giving up on integrity and moving into manipulation. Recognizing the power of Jupiter, all right, will be key for retrograde Mercury, or you can suffer. All right, or you can suffer. It's just that plain and simple. All right, retrograde Venus and Saturn. All right, they both kind of tie in together. They're best friend planets, and they both can represent a surge of solar power from the sun. You should be people with retrograde Venus and Saturn, recognizing the power of the sun. All right, not just its rays and how hot it is on your skin, but that also should be something you should do as well, because this can represent possible lack of vitamin D or lack of mineral that is good for the teeth, the hair, and the bones. All right, as sun is a great supplier of what we need for bone health, what we need for hair health, what we need for just overall energy and organ health, cellular reproductive health. All right, but if you got a retrograde Venus and Saturn, that means your cellular reproduction could be hit a little bit. And you recognizing the power of the sun, you getting out in that sun. You may not like it, but you may have to get out there and just burn for a good day here and there. Maybe once a week, just let it, you know, get a nice good burn. All right, especially if you're melanated. Come on, get out of here. Get on out there. Get your ass out there. All right. Now, not I'm not just talking about solar sun, but I'm talking about who sun represents as well. So if you got a retrograde Venus and Saturn, you may have a problem with authority, or you may have a problem with males. All right, you may have a problem with males, or you may have a problem with relationships. And what I mean by that, that could be a various amount of things. You may have a problem with uh, your partner's behavior in a relationship. You may have a problem with uh, you may have a problem with what happens once you get in a relationship. All right, but nevertheless, witnessing the power of the sun here with retrograde Venus and Saturn, recognizing the power of creativity. All right, your children. All right, recognizing your children's creativity would be something very karmically gratifying if you were to do that. All right, if you were to recognize your child's craft of creativity and fine art craft and whatever skill set that may be, potential for whatever that may be, that really offsets the retrograde Venus and Saturn. Because what the retrograde Venus and Saturn does, it restricts your partnerships. Because these natives, a lot of times, they don't even realize it, but they can fall victim into imbalance with partnerships and family, or partnerships and work, or partnerships. It's just partnerships, all right? Partnerships and balancing with work, partnerships and balancing with children, partnerships and balancing with, different things like that. So you really want to watch for that. Recognizing the power from the sun, all right? Retrograde Jupiter, recognizing the power of Mercury, and recognizing that, with a retrograde Jupiter, you should recognize the power of Mercury, that you relying on just pure, sheer, will, grit, luck, cunning, wit, whatever, only can take you so far. It's not saying that it won't take you some places. Yes, it will take you some places, as being cunning and willing and kneeling and whatnot. It will move you from this place to that place, and then it will move you from this place to that place, and then it will move you from this place to possibly this place. But what could possibly happen is you could get in a place with a retrograde Jupiter to now you've boxed yourself in. All right, you've boxed yourself in as a result of your cunning, decisions that you made, self-important decisions that you made, the amount of self-importance on the decisions that you've made, things of that nature. And here, with the retrograde Jupiter, recognizing the power of Mercury, and the power of Mercury is hospitality. All right, you being hospitable. Mercury is the energy that allows strangers to meet for the first time. Hey, how's it going? My name's Patrick. What's your name? Hey, what can I get for you today? How's it going, sir? How's it going, man? What can I get for you today? That is the power of Mercury. If you got a retrograde Jupiter, you possibly could be somebody that could possibly struggle with that. You may not like customer service jobs, possibly had a rough time with them, or you may work in customer service and you really get the business from certain customers and clients because they're trying to get you to really work and recognize the power of Mercury, which is rooted in hospitality, which is rooted in, greeting and meeting and smiling and different things of that nature. Mercury represents the smiling of teeth. All right. So if you have retrograde Jupiter, you should possibly keep your teeth brushed, try to keep them fixed, try to keep them showing, smiling, and whatnot, in good standing, because that will ultimately get you far. All right. Now, retrograde Mars, recognizing the power of Moon and Venus, which, quote unquote, I almost want to say recognizing the power of femininity. All right. If you got retrograde Mars, if you're a male with retrograde Mars, recognizing the power of femininity, recognizing the same power that your mother walks in, the same power that your sister walks in, the same power that your baby mother walks in, your baby mama, your spouse, whoever walks in, your daughter, recognizing that power, not just seeing it and, providing for it and just, protecting it. And yes, I get all of that, but recognizing it, all right, will really be key with the retrograde Mars, and it can ultimately help you succeed in life, as you'll actually find women possibly stepping up and possibly helping you succeed. Anything from jobs, from resources, things of that nature. All right, but with the retrograde Mars, if you're somebody that doesn't recognize the power of Moon and Venus, what could happen is your relationships could suffer. Even as a woman with retrograde Mars, your relationships with men could possibly suffer. Not able to connect with the femininity, or able to connect with the femininity, not able to facilitate the femininity on into the relationship somehow. All right, it gets misplaced, it gets misguided, it just, it doesn't line up. So here, recognizing the power of Moon and Venus, and one way you can do that is following the cycles of the moon. All right, following the cycles of the moon, learning the phases of the moon. I believe 13 phases of the moon. Learning the phases of the moon, learning the cycles of the moon, following the cycles of the moon. If you have a retrograde Mars, I personally recommend that you follow the cycles of the moon and recognize and become acquainted with the power of the moon and Venus, as it will help upgrade your life in a way that, me and you, we can't even talk about right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much to talk about, too much time to talk about. All right. Now, these outer planets here, all right, they are not really, they don't really carry the same struggles as the personal planets. The personal planets are the ones they're personal planets for a reason. They're called personal planets because they pertain to your personality. All right, but the outer planets, they do pertain to a more societal impact, a more outside influential impact, friends, different places in society. So we're just going to cover those in a couple of minutes and then we'll be out of here. All right, retrograde Uranus, recognizing the power of friends and society. If you have retrograde Uranus, you may have been put in position to where you may have to recognize the power of friendship. It may have been, nobody, I'm talking about mama, daddy, brother, sister, cousin, anybody. You probably try to go through all the lists before you try to call a friend, because with a retrograde Uranus, you may be ashamed of sharing certain things with your friends. You may not want to know, you may not want your friends to know that you may be struggling with certain things that may be going on in your life, and your friends have an antenna for that shit where they'll call you and you ain't even told them what's going on. They'll be like, hey girl, hey, I'm about to stop by over there, or hey, I got something I need to bring over, blase split. And that's how you recognize the power of friends. Or just in the time of need, you reach out, or a friend be like, yeah girl, I can take you. You be like, man, I didn't even want to ask you. I should have known. I should have just went on and asked you, girl. Like, yeah girl, you tripping. You recognizing the power of friends and society through retrograde Uranus. Now, your retrograde Uranus brings karmic lessons with sharing and possessiveness. All right, you don't want to get caught being possessive with a retrograde Uranus. You have everything stripped from you. You trying to hold on to that one little birdie. All right, let it be shared. You know what I'm saying? If the universe tugging on it that hard, let it go. Because in most cases, the universe may not be trying to take it from you and never give it back. They may be trying to take it and moderate it and be like, okay, you can have some now. Okay, that's enough. Okay, here goes some now. You see what I'm saying? But us, we bring it in and we want all of it. But no, Uranus won't let you do that. Uranus won't let you do that. Uranus will shut it down. All right, sudden, unexpected stuff will happen. All right, so recognizing the power of friends, society, and also I want to add in recognizing the power of stability with retrograde Uranus. Some natives with retrograde Uranus, they may not recognize the power of stability. They may recognize it, but some of them may recognize it as boredom. Some of them may recognize it as mundane, mild, lame, or some of them may recognize it as, oh yeah, that's okay, that's great, but that's just not what I'm into. I'm unconventional, but recognizing it nevertheless, no matter how unconventional you are, recognizing it, all right? Retrograde Neptune, recognizing the power of sabotage and envy. Ooh, you got to recognize where you can really F yourself, all right? If you are somebody that doesn't think you can F yourself, you don't think you can stick your foot in your mouth, you already are doing it by thinking that. It just hasn't manifested yet. Learn where your areas of development are needed, because everyone has them, all right? Learning the power of sabotage as well. Learning when someone else is trying to sabotage you, not just feeling it. It's a difference. It's a difference between learning the art of sabotage and you just feeling when someone is trying to sabotage you, because you feeling it don't always make it be right. We could be wrong with our feelings. So that's why learning it will be key, all right? Learning the power, recognizing the power of sabotage, recognizing that you can jack yourself up by dating this guy, recognizing that if you sleep with this guy this soon, this can ruin everything, recognizing that if I quit this job and don't have anything lined up, I am sabotaging my life. Just recognizing that if I get pregnant this year, right now, this will set me back possibly 2 years. Recognize. All right? Retrograde Pluto, recognizing either your personal power or your partner's personal power. All right? And the power of secrecy and sexuality will likely be about with retrograde Pluto. It's about recognizing it. Recognizing that the person that you chose to be in a partnership with is powerful. That you're not in a partnership with a powerless person. You know, yes, you may be good at making decisions and you may be, you know, but you chose this person. What you chose them to be, you chose them powerless. Like, you didn't choose a person that on your same vibration. You didn't choose a person on your same wave and frequency. You chose somebody that you can step on, like starting off the relationship. No, more than likely you chose somebody that was, you felt there was eye level with you and your frequency. But as the relationship goes on, and especially if one partner is making less mistakes than the other, then that can result in areas of power struggles where either superiority or inferiority can start to bubble up to the surface. All right. And you don't want that. All right. So you want to be able to always recognize your partner's personal power, not recognizing their personal setbacks. All right. We're good. We're superb with that shit. All right. We perfect it every day. Social media talking about what's wrong with men, what's wrong with women, what's wrong with y'all, what's wrong with them, what's wrong with him, what's wrong with her. We perfect with that shit. Retrograde Pluto is about recognizing personal power, not personal plunders. All right, blaming, criticize, hypercritical. You're hypercritical and over analytical. All right, and then they're over analytical and the hypercriticism ain't manifesting into nothing. You just sitting up talking about somebody that's trying to, you know, or even at least claim they like you, instead of you using that into a field of work or something, critiquing a movie, critiquing some food. Get on there, be a food critic. Get on there, be a movie critic. Don't just sit on your ass and criticizing your partner or criticizing your kids or criticizing the people that are around you, that want to be around you, that's making an effort to be around you. Recognizing the power, all right, of the people around you is key with Pluto. It's not just about personal power. It's about my personal power and how it's affecting everyone around me and how their powers is empowering me. The shadow side of Pluto is everybody's out to get me. I need to hide this shit. All right? I need to hide it. I need to hide the areas to, you know, you don't want to get caught in that, especially in a relationship. You don't want to get caught in fighting in the dark. All right? You're taking shots in the dark with stuff. In a relationship, though, where you can actually talk and confirm it, still taking shots in the dark. Taking shots in the dark. All right? So recognizing your partner's personal power, recognizing the power of sexuality and secrecy, especially if you are married. Especially if you are married. All right? Especially if you are in a long-term partnership. Even if you ain't legally married. Even if y'all in, you know, Commonwealth thing going on. You know, y'all been together 10 years, 15 years, 8 years. Recognizing the power in each other. And more than likely, if y'all been together for a nice amount of time, you know, and everything's going good, then that likely is a key to y'all survival and sufficiency within the relationship anyway, all right? So this is just how we learn astrology, the power of astrology, within several minutes. I know I probably took more than several minutes, but it's good sharing this with you all. Stay tuned as this will go into Facebook groups, all right? And then also P.A.T Academy on Patreon. We got more coming up there. As spring 2025, we are kicking off with a lot. So stay tuned here. Those of y'all that are watching, have a wonderful day with P.A.T Metaphysics, practical, powerful, tangible.